Timur and Travis. Mary's friend Mavis had 2 grandsons that ran an ecotourism business, and Mary hired them to run our camp for us while we explored Tasmania. Mavis and her husband Gregory, an Aboriginal couple, had worked for Mary's father Reverend Jim when she was young. Reverend Jim was a Presbyterian minister in Hobart for more than 40 years, and during that time Mavis and Gregory managed the manse for him. Mary's mother had died when she was very young, so she had to be the lady of the house for the Reverend. Mavis told her that Travis and Timur ran their environmental wilderness tour business more like a bed and breakfast in the wilderness. She and Gregory had 2 daughters which both left Tasmania to marry a couple Australian Aborigines and travel to Arnhem Land to live in an Aboriginal town. Both daughters had since died, and Mavis blamed it on alcohol abuse. Timur added, "Snakes aren't particularly fast here. Petal to the metal is the same speed as a fat fella heading to the buffet. They're great swimmers though. They go like buggers in the water after eels, fish or frogs." I could tell Timur and Cheesy were going to get along well. They both had the same sense of humor. Snakes depend on external sources of heat to raise their body temperature enough to become active or digest food, which means you may come across them sunning themselves on rocks. Later, when it gets hot, they'll be under those same rocks. Travis told us. Tiger snakes and lowland copperheads can both be active on warm nights, so carry a torch when going walkabout at night. Timur said, "The old fellas used to say, don't treat a tiger bite, then your chance is sun and moon," which to them meant 50-50. Timur and Travis told us they grew up in Arnhem Land close to where Kakadu National Park is now. When they were young, they liked to go out with the old fellas and learn the tricks of survival as well as their culture and art. As the old fellas died, no one was replacing them. Alcohol was everywhere and people didn't need to know about survival or even bush tucker, just how to collect their money. They should have kept their culture and art. After their mother died, they left Arnhem Land and drifted to Cairns where they became surfers. Timur won a couple of cash events, but for Travis, the big wave never came, as Timur told us. Travis did, however, earn some cash playing sets in the bars and nightclubs of the tourist area. Eventually they tired of the surfing and the bar scene and came home to Tasmania to live with their grandparents, Mavis and Gregory, to see if they could rekindle their family feelings. Timur told us, the earliest archaeological evidence for Aboriginal habitation of Tasmania is from the valley of the Forth River, 35,000 years ago. How does that line up with Aboriginals crossing from Australia at 10,000 years ago over the Bass Strait? Travis said, Granny's friends say Tasmanian decimation qualifies as genocide in terms of the definition set forth by the UN Genocide Convention. Granny tells us, Dromedine appears as the star Canopus and helped the first men to change from their kangaroo-like form. He removed their tails and fashioned their knee joints so that they could rest, and thus man is different from kangaroo.